I was painting, you know, and posting my social media. One guy massive said, bro, I love this. How much you want? I'm like, I don't know, just pay the material and take it. There's business here. Are you down to do whatever you have to do to follow your dreams and, you know, do what you love? If you can answer this question, just believe and just do whatever you have to do, man. Because, you know, I did.
This is our interview with Diogo Snow, a world-renowned artist with over 1 million followers on Instagram. Diogo's story is super inspiring. From growing up in Brazil to finding his passion later on in life, and in between, getting a gun put to his head twice and then coming to Canada to start a better life. This is our interview with Diogo Snow. Enjoy. Diogo Snow, it's an honor to be here. This studio is amazing, by the way. I was just taken back. So thanks for doing this for us and thanks for having us here.
Thank you very much, my brother. My pleasure, man.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the pink punk chair.
Bro, I love everything about this studio. Like, I can't wait to show the audience. We'll vlog some of it.
Man, you know, we try to create a little vibe here, you know, so people feel comfortable and feel the good energy.
I definitely feel comfortable. The vibe is awesome. Sometimes I'm probably going to text you saying, hey, you want to play some sports on this?
That's it. Anytime, that's what my friends do sometimes. You know, they come here, you know, they just chill. Sometimes they leave work earlier, you know, they like, yo, I'm going to stop by, you know.
Yeah,
it's always open, man.
You know what I love about it is as soon as I walked in, I said, this is his brand, bro. This is like for any young entrepreneur that wants to build something, like they can take notes. And for me, I was telling Carson, I said, I got to change up a little bit of our office for the podcast. I want to open it up and set up this kind of vibe, this atmosphere, because it's so chill, but it's so you at the same time.
It makes a difference, you know? Yeah, I became, you know, famous for the hot pink color.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I want to, you know, when people, they walk here, they already see, you know, the whole like pink punk world, you know, that's what I'm bringing, you know, all over the world, you know, just, branding, you know. And it's funny because even events, when I do events or if it's a birthday party or something, there's always, you know, like someone wearing, you know, the hot pink.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, this is for you. I'm like, thank you, man. Yeah. So, you know, I'm creating, you know, the vibe, and man, I just love it. I'm just enjoying, man.
I love it. And you could tell. And yeah, this chair is awesome, bro.
Yeah, that's for my guy. Everybody thinks, you know, like, no, you see. I said, no. I put this chair there. That's for my guests always, you know. I sit on the black couch here, and my guest has the, you know, I call the pink punk king chair.
The king chair. I love it. No, I love it. And it's so important to like distinguish yourself, especially in your world, right? There's a lot of people, I think they want to be musicians, artists. When I was in school studying to be a teacher, the teacher that was my grade 12 teacher told me, Matthew, you know, everyone's trying to be a teacher. Everybody wants summers off. What's going to be different about you compared to all the other people that are in school trying to be a teacher? Yeah. And so I think that you've done a great job at that. But why don't you know, let's back up a sec. Why don't you tell us about your family? Why don't you tell us about, you know, how you got started and your story, your origin story?
Yes, man. I started actually when I was 9 years old. My grandma gave my first drum set. You know, I remember there was a thing on the newspaper, the back of the newspaper, you know, people selling used stuff. And then she got me my first drum, you know. First, I wanted to be a guitar player. I didn't like it. And then I used to see one of my friends playing drums. And I'm like, I want to be a drummer. So I became a drummer, you know. That was actually, it was in my blood. I'm like, that's my thing. So pretty much I played drums my whole life. But I started playing drums when I was 9. And then when I was 14, 15, you know, I started going in the streets and doing illegal tags, right? It was like our, you know, we had a little gang in Brazil. In Brazil. You know, my school, it was me plus 3 of my friends. And it was just a thing, right? We're just like going and, you know, like a nighttime and tagging the walls and stuff, trains, containers, everything. But when I was about to turn 18, you know, because, you know, when you're 18, like you can get your driver's license, you can go to jail.
That's true.
So I'm like, you know, I don't think, you know, it's nice to be doing this anymore, right? I don't want to bring, you know, problems to my parents. And because I'm so addicted to the spray paint, they smell is just crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to do something with this spray. I remember I had a spray can in my house, and my mom, she had a sculpture. I painted that sculpture more than 20 times. Every week it was a different color. I was just like vibing and, throwing paint and stuff.
Was mama okay with this?
She was always okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's always like, my mom and my dad, my whole family, they were always like so supportive and, say, what do you want to do? You want to be a musician? Okay, so we're going to put you on the music school. You want to play drums? Okay, we're going to get you a drum set. So they always believed in us, and they let us do, stuff that we wanted to do, right? Of course, on the right path, whatever. But we always did. But she figured that I was doing illegal tags on the street, and she got super mad. And then I remember one time she locked me in the house for a week. She like, school, home. You're not going anywhere. Don't tell me you're gonna go outside and play with your friends, because you're not going. Yeah. I know what you're doing, right? Yeah. So she wasn't happy with that. But yeah, and then turned 18, and then I was just like, listen, I gotta do something nice now. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna do on the streets and see all those walls full of tags and stuff, and ask for permission, paint in white, and just do a graffiti, because I knew how to draw and stuff. And I had my folder. I was drawing every day at home. So I started doing this, right? So my mom started, financing the spray cans for me. So I put, like all my colors in my backpack, going on the streets and just, spending my day doing graffiti. And for me, that was my therapy. I remember, that I had my Discman at the time, the CD inside, my music on, and I used to spend all day just graffitiing. So you forget about everything, problems, that. You forget about the world. You're just there in your own vibe, painting, right? So that for me was actually amazing. So in this meantime, I was playing drums on a band, and I was doing graffiti, right? But graffiti was just my hobby, right? It was nothing that I never thought that I was gonna, make my living out of it. I was just like painting, whatever. But drums, yes, drums was my thing. I was making money playing. I was playing in a band Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My mom had to go to the courts to sign me like a letter saying, that she would let me go at the clubs and play a nightlife. Play the night. Because I was just 15 when I started. Wow. Going out. Yeah, I started playing was 9. 15, I was playing professional. With older people. Yeah. And yeah, so drums was my thing. I was just like, that's what I want to do in my life. I just want to, be famous, and make my money doing what I love, right?
So when did the switch happen where you're like, okay, this thing that I'm doing as a hobby, I enjoy it more than the drumming. The drumming is making me a living. Where was that intersection,
It was nothing. I never thought about making money doing art. Art for me was just a hobby, as I said. But I was playing drums, and then I had my last shot in Brazil. I was playing for this, I remember like boys band and stuff. Yeah. That was a super big boys band in Brazil. So that was their comeback. And they were doing a test. So, okay, we need a drummer. So one of my friends were playing guitar for them. They said, Diogo, they're doing a test. And I was kind of thinking about move to Canada. And then I'm like, no, I'm going to wait, because they're super famous, right? At the time. And now it's their comeback. So it might be something really good for me. So I did the test. I passed.
Nice.
So I started playing with them. And then it was like 2 months. Like in 2 months, they already had a problem with the manager. And, ended up like not happening. And then I'm like, you know what? I have to go to Canada. I got robbed twice, gun in my head, whatever. I'm like, my brother was living here at the time. And I'm like, I'm going to Canada,
You just have the one brother? Is that
just one brother?
So 2 brothers?
Yeah.
How many years apart are you guys?
We're a year and 11 months.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good.
It's like, now we look like twins. It's so funny. Yeah.
My brother is 3 years apart. He's younger than me.
Okay.
We're 3 years apart. But I always gotta, motivate him, but he motivates me too with some of the stuff that he's doing and how he goes about things and his character. So you feed off each other.
That's how I do with my brother too. And the funniest thing that we play our whole life, my brother is a bass player.
Okay.
So we play together. And then he moved to Canada. And then I started, trying to find my way, right? So, and then I played with this band. And then, band was over. I'm like, oh my God, I thought it was going to be, like a big thing, a good thing. It didn't happen, but like, whatever, I'm going to Canada. Came to Canada. I started doing construction, did construction for so many years. And then I told my brother, I'm like, T, let's just, let's find some people. Let's go back, because that's that's our passion. We love to play, right? And it's been like 3 years that we're not playing. We're not doing anything. We're just doing construction, right? He's like, yeah, I know, let's, So, and then we start kind of like, reaching out to some people. And then we find Jay, which is a good friend of mine. It was a guitar player, Brazilian guy too, started playing with us. And then we found a Canadian girl. And then we put a band together, put our first CD out, making this story short. Ended up not happening. My brother got married, 2 kids, quit the music. He focused on his construction thing. And I was doing construction still, but I'm like, I don't want this for my life, right? I have my talent. I believe in myself. I need to do something. So one of my friends reached out to me too, say, listen, there's this this rapper from LA. He's gonna be here in Toronto and they're looking for a drummer. Do you want to play? I'm like, oh my God, another test. I say, okay, let's go. So I did the test, passed the test, start playing with them. And then we were on tour for like 3 months, did a song with Sean Kingston at the time, it was going like amazing, managers, investors. So end of the day, the singer was just spending the manager's money, going crazy, didn't want nothing, was not even rehearsing anymore. And band is over. And I'm like, oh my God. So one of my friends came up to me and she was like, Diogo, why don't you become a singer? You have the look, I see that you kind of like, you like to play some stuff on the keyboard and sing, whatever. Why don't you try? Something like that, because I see that you're putting your energy for so many people.
You kind of remind me of the Nicky Jam vibe.
Yeah, a lot of people, I take that all the time, bro. Yeah. When I'm in Miami, everybody, Nicky Jam.
Honestly, yes. I was trying to think, I'm like, who is it? It's not Maluma. I'm like, Nicky Jam.
Nicky Jam, yeah. And it's funny because actually I became a singer and I opened up for Nicky Jam in Toronto. Yes.
That's hilarious.
It was funny. But yeah, I'm like, I just in the back of the, just play my drums. I don't know if I'm ready to go and be the main guy, and just be there, me in the crowd, right? And like, no, we gotta do it, And I'm like, you know what? Yes. I've been putting my energy for so many people, and sometimes they're not on the same energy level as you, and you're just wasting your time. And I'm like, no, I don't want to, waste my time anymore. I'm just getting older, and I have to do something for myself now. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it because, the time, the money, the energy, I'm going to put it for something that I'm doing for me, for myself. So I did. Became a singer, first experience was, I met this guy at the church and, he was the music producer. And then I approached him. I'm like, listen, do you want to produce my album? I see that you're an amazing musician, right? And I'm looking for somebody. I have like all my music on my phone that I play a keyboard at my house. I'm not a professional keyboard player. Not even, I play guitar, but it's just, for fun, right? I'm like, but I have everything. I know, I understand music. I just need a professional to make the beats for me. So hired this guy. I was paying this guy $40 an hour for him to put all my album together. So at the end of my album, everything was done. This guy stole all my music.
No.
Yeah.
From the church.
Hey, from the church, bro. And he left to Brazil.
Shame on you.
Shame on this guy, man.
I go to church and shame on you.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, why is this happening? I'm like, maybe, it's not for me. Maybe it's a sign. So, but anyway, start, doing my thing in construction. My brother still, and that thing was just like clicking in my head. I'm like, you know what? I need to do it. So find this guy, Arthur Zaragoza, which is a good friend of mine now. He saw that I was, start singing and stuff, doing my thing, but he didn't know that they stole my music. He's like, D, come to my studio. He's like, let's do something. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I already just dropped so much money. He said, no. I want no money. I believe in you. Let's do it together. Let's just start and put everything together again, and let's just start from scratch. And we did. And then I was on the road for 7 years. You know, it was amazing. I did a lot of connections. Literally, I blew my money. I remember at the time I had money to buy a house. And my brother was like, buy that house in front of mine. I'm like, no. He's like, what are you doing with this money? I'm like, I spend it all, but I'm going to be smart. You know, I want to travel the world. I want to make connections, you know, networking with people. I want to be everywhere, every day in different places, different countries. And I did. I blew all my money. And it was good because, you know, today I am who I am because of all my connections and, you know, the life lessons and everything that happened in my life. You know, it was a big thing for me, even though I'm not a singer today. But all that, you know, the networking and the you know, the business that I did through my singer career, today it reflects to my art, right? But then it was interesting because I got signed by a record label, and, you know, because I got kind of like stuck with my career because I invested all my money, and then I got on a point that my son was gonna born, and then I'm like, fuck, I cannot put all my money into my career anymore. Now I'm gonna have a kid.
I need formula, I need diapers.
Everything. You know, the expenses, you know. So I'm like, you know what? My brother was like, listen, just come back. Let's do construction. I'm like, fuck, but it's been 7 years that I'm, you know, into this. You know, I'm already living like a different life.
There's no going back.
There's no going back, right? I'm like, I can't. So I kind of like, you know what? Let me manage for you. You know, you do your thing. We have some guys, you know, I just help you manage. At least I make something too. I can figure, you know, stuff. So when I decided to stop, this record label came up to me. They hired me for a concert in Toronto. And they're like, how's your career? I'm like, oh, I know, it's good, but it's kind of stuck. I need an investor now. It's like, okay, we're not buying to you. I'm like, what? I'm here thinking about, you know, not give up, but kind of like, you know, put a stop my career and focus on something different. And these guys literally just show up in my life and, you know, and offer me this. Anyway, I was excited with the money. I was, you know, I got on that point that I didn't want to go back to construction. I didn't read the contract. I signed the contract, got the money, and got fucked. Excuse my French, but I got fucked.
So this money,
they put me on the box.
Yeah. They threw money at you, and that's what they do with a lot of artists, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't read the contract, you didn't read the fine print. So how did they get you stuck?
You know, pretty much because, you know, like my image was good. You know, I had like 4 big songs with one of the biggest singer in Portugal. So they kind of think like, listen, I'm gonna use his image because they used to own like a newspaper, radio station, magazine. You know, a year and a half passed after I signed this contract. I was locked on the office, working 9 to 5, and, you know, writing articles for magazines, for newspaper and stuff. I'm like, what I'm doing to my life? I was miserable.
Yeah,
I was stressed out. And I'm not like that, bro. I'm always like laughing. I'm the happiest guy, bro. I'm always like, treat everybody the same. I'm good with everybody. I don't care if you're depressed. I don't care if you're homeless. I'm good with everybody. And I'll find myself stressed out because of money. I'm like, no, this is not me. I have money. I'm out. So left the company, you know, got home, didn't know what to do to myself. I'm like, what I'm going to do now? And then, you know, a click came in my head and was like, just do something to relax. Do you remember when you used to go on the streets in Brazil with your music on, you know, and you used to paint, do your thing? Just go paint, go relax.
Had you been painting like on the road? No, you probably didn't have time.
No.
Those 7 years. So it must have been years coming back to it.
Coming back to it.
And it just came up here.
Yeah. I'm like, because I just got on a point that I'm like, I need to breathe and relax and take a time off.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to relax. And then, you know, I remember, you know, my Brazil days, I'm like, I gotta relax, paint. So I start painting, you know, at the house just to kind of like put my, you know, my mind in place, whatever, relaxing, put my music, same style, my music on and painting, you know.
This time the music was your song?
With my song, but it was different too. It was not on the walls, right? On the street, it was on a canvas.
Yes.
You know, because I'm like, where am I going to find a wall for me to paint, right? Amazing. I was just on that time that I'm like, I'm going to buy a canvas. I'm going to try, you know. So yeah, I was painting, you know, and posting my social media. And then, you know, one guy messaged and said, bro, I love this. How much you want? I'm like, I don't know, just pay the material and take it. And then painting again. Oh, how much you want? Oh, pay the material, take it. Pay the material, take it. I'm like, there's business here.
Yeah.
It might be something, right? And then, you know, I start brainstorming, you know, a lot of stuff, you know, like going more deep into the art scene, you know, going back to the graffiti days, you know, reading even like I have a folder here in my studio that it's all my, you know, my sketches, magazines that I was on with the graffiti, you know, and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just going to read all this and I'm going to start going deep and understand more about the art world, you know.
How old were you roughly like when this happened? How you went back to painting? Roughly.
I'm 41 now. That was 7 years ago.
Wow.
7 years ago, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
So like
And
early
then-
30s.
Yeah.
Early
yeah,
30s.
Yeah.
But you brought all this life experience with you
For sure.
this time around.
It took some time.
Yeah.
You know, at the beginning, you know, I started doing custom pieces, you know, just trying to get myself, you know, we call the starving artist, right?
Wow.
It's like the same as the music. Me as a musician, I understand the market, right? When, you know, when you're a musician, you have to start from, you know, somewhere,
Yeah.
right? So first thing you do, I'm not going to say everybody, but most common thing is like you just go play at the bars, play cover songs, you know, record your cover song, you know, and then when you get, you know, the experience, you go out and, you know, say, okay, I'm ready to do my own music.
Yeah.
The same as the art, right? I start doing custom pieces. Of course, there's some people, they out of nowhere, they start creating their own style. They go free and that's it, you know? If they have, you know, some let's say a different income coming in, you know, they like, no, I'm just painting, you know, my thing. You know, for me, it was just different because I wanted to make that my living. So I'm like, okay, how do I start it? I'm going to start doing custom, you know? That's what people want. I'll say, oh, I want my family's picture. Can you paint? Oh, yeah, I want this. I want Gucci, Louis V logo, Mickey Mouse. Do this for my kid.
You had the Rolex one in the studio that I like.
Yes. That's a custom one too, you know? And I still have so many old pieces here too that it was just like custom, right? And then when I start kind of like making my money and stuff, I'm like, now I need to go, you know, doing like what I love, you know, my own style, right? It took me a time, you know, for me to find my own style. But I got, you know, I started getting stressed out too, you know, about doing the custom pieces because imagine you come to me, say, okay, Diogo, I want family portrait with, you know, Mickey Mouse in there, this, and this. So you guide me, right? You give me all the ideas and then I have to make sure that I bring to life something that you're visioning and I want to make sure that you're going to love it.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine. Thank God that never happened, but imagine I come with the piece and I'm like, Diogo, this is not what I expect.
And I think that's a part of, we were talking about this earlier about the clients you want to attract. So when you get these clients that have this vision in their mind and, you know, thank God it didn't happen as you said, but if it did happen, I still don't think you would have done anything wrong or you did anything wrong because when they're coming to you, like even if I, you know, order a canvas, I'm going to say, I know what I'm getting myself into. I'm trusting you. This is what I have in mind, but whatever it is, because that's you. You're the artist,
100%.
not me.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like when someone comes to me in my business and says, well, I want it this way. And I'm like, well, this is how I do things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If this is not right for you, this fit's not right for you. There's other artists, there's other professionals. You could go to them, right?
For sure.
But that never happened. So now, okay, let's say you start in your early 30s, right? And you're back at it. So how many years did it take to find the niche, to find your thing? What time, like how did that play out?
It was actually this style that I create now, the pink punk. I created 2 years ago.
So
after brainstorming and going through different styles and, you know, but now I'm set with this style. It was funny because, you know, Ronaldinho, soccer player, is a good friend of mine. So he came to Toronto. We had a company that we hired him to do some stuff. You know, he was the ambassador of the company. And, you know, they're like, oh, let's do the logo of the company with the pink punk. You're pink punk, you know. I'm like, are you sure? So, yeah, let's do it. You know, let's see. So pretty much Ronaldinho loved the pink punk. and we did some t-shirts, some hoodies and stuff. He was rocking like every single day here in Toronto. He's like, no, I need more, you know, I want more of your merch. I love it. And, you know, and then I took him to the Raptors game, the TFC game. And then he was always, you know, with the hoodie and stuff. And my Instagram was blowing up. People, yo, what kind of brand is that?
That's
I'm
amazing.
like, no, that's my thing, you know, that I just created, right? It's like, really, like, where do I find? I'm like, no, I don't have nothing yet, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just starting. But that's when I actually had the, you know, the thing that I'm like, wow, I think the pink punk is a thing.
Yeah.
People are loving it. The amount of feedback I'm getting from people, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And even coming from Ronaldinho too,
It's
right?
huge.
Which is, you know.
So you kind of fell into social media sales.
Yeah.
Was that mostly where your sales were taking place for the canvases?
Yes.
Social media?
Yes. Yeah.
And then influencer marketing.
Exactly.
With Ronaldinho for the merch.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
that happened kind of by accident almost, right?
By accident, yeah.
Isn't
yeah,
that funny?
Because I didn't even, I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna look nice, the logo with my pink punk, right? They know we gotta funk it up because, you know, Ronaldinho, you know, he doesn't like boring stuff. He's more, you know, he's more into like the cool stuff or whatever. It's like, no, we gotta do is gonna be just like the touch that he's gonna love it. If it's just the logo of the company, he's not gonna enjoy, right? He's not even wanna wear or something. And I'm like, okay, let's do it, man. It was like a big hit. And then from there, I'm like, no, I know that
this is the
punk
one.
it's a thing. Yeah. And actually, it became a thing.
Yeah.
As I was saying, you know, everybody now is just enjoying the hot pink, you know, like.
And you're still traveling. You love to do, you know, the traveling, meet people and all that. Now you bring your family with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I bring my family with me. You know, I'm traveling, you know, I'm now just like trying to enjoy my life now because I'm doing my style, you know. Not that I don't do custom pieces anymore. I still do, but you know, for me, it was not just the right thing, right? The right thing is just me coming to the studio, paint whatever I want from my heart.
Yeah.
And people, they're gonna love it or not, right? It's like this, right? When you're a musician, as I was saying, you know, like if you record your CD, you're like, I'm ready to record my own song, my original songs. Okay, what you like? You know, I wanna do hip hop because I love hip hop. That's what I want. You're gonna go to a specific market. You know, it's not, I want to do rock. Okay, you're going to a specific market. Well, of course, I listen to everything. I like everything. There's a lot of people like this, right? But the art's the same thing. You're like, I just want to paint whatever I want.
That's right.
And you're gonna love it. He's gonna hate it. The other one's gonna, it's okay, you know. But there's always, you know, people that are gonna love your stuff and gonna buy your stuff, and that's it. That's how I see, right?
The graffiti wall in our office. So our office is very like, it's designed very modern, and the kitchen is like the size of the condo kitchens to give our clients an idea of what to expect, things like that. Concrete floor. But the old people that would walk into the office and saw the graffiti wall, they hated it.
Really?
Hated it. They wanted the old school, your logo on the wall. And I didn't want that because I said, you know, it's not, I don't want it to be too corporate. I want people to know who we are, right?
Yes.
And so, no, I totally get that.
But another one's going to come say, oh my God, I love the energy. I love the vibe.
There's people that come in, they're like, whoa, like we didn't even know this was here. Like this is like mellows out the space and makes it cool, approachable.
Why you're going to change, you know, your vibe, your energy for others, right? No.
As you said, someone's going to love it. Someone's going to hate it.
100%.
Someone's going to, you know.
Yeah, we cannot, you know.
So somebody who's listening to this, they're at a crossroads in their life. We just heard two things. The first one, maybe someone didn't pick it up at the beginning. You were robbed at gunpoint twice in Brazil.
Yeah.
You know, and the second thing was the record label putting you in a box, kind of screwing you over in the contract. And
which I'm so thankful for them today.
So that's what I was going to say. So like those experiences, although bad at the time, the feelings you experienced were probably just horrible. You know, fearing for your life, fearing for your, you know, financial security, your mental health, your well-being, all these things. Someone might be listening to this or watching this and just saying, I'm at that point in my life, or I just went through something like that in my life. So what advice would you give to that person now?
Man, what I've learned is, you know, and I still do, all the, you know, bad situations that happens in my life, it's for a reason. So now I just, you know, turn that into a good situation. I'm like, you know what? That thing happens for a reason. So I turn that into a life lesson, right? So all the bad things, it happens in my life now, I turn that into a good thing. I'm like, no, it's okay. It was meant to be.
Even if you don't know the lesson at that time.
Even if you don't know, man, it's going to come. And you're gonna know, like, 3 months, a year, or 2 years, you're gonna know. You said, wow, that happens for this.
Yeah.
That happens in Brazil. I'm in Canada.
It's funny.
That happened with the record label. I'm back doing what I love because I wasn't a singer.
Yeah.
It wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you, I was so thankful because, I understand music. I'm a musician and I learned how to sing. But for me, it was like, okay, let's sit on the studio. Let's write a song.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. That thing was stressing me out.
The idea was planted in your mind, right? By somebody else. Somebody else did it. Yeah.
I know. I did it because I wanted to make it to the music because I love music, right? But I wasn't a singer, right?
Yeah.
So I was enjoying. Yes, I was enjoying. But it wasn't like, oh my God, I love to do this. Yeah. No. So, and then that happens. And now I'm doing what I love. Yeah. My passion, right?
And your story is amazing because of like all the ups and downs and the life experiences and the money. Most people wouldn't have left, for example, the drumming or even the music because of the money. It's hard to leave your job and to follow your passion because you're like, the money I need to provide.
Yeah.
Kids, how many kids do you have now?
Just one.
Just the one?
Just one.
And you got a family and the kid. And it's like, I'm not going to, stop doing this, which is consistent, guaranteed almost, to go follow this, which I have no idea about.
For sure.
That's a big risk.
It's a big risk, man. And it's sometimes that one thing that people doesn't want to take, right? Risk.
Yeah.
They like, the savings account. They like to, be comfortable what they're doing. Oh, okay, we're good. We're making this money here. So we have a savings, we pay our mortgage, we pay this, and we can have a little money to travel, once in a year, twice in a year, maybe.
Yeah.
They don't think, but for some people, it's okay. Sure. They're happy. Like, if they're happy like that, there's nothing wrong with this. Right? Everyone should know what makes you happy. Yeah. Right? Is it the challenge to for me, it's not even to make more, right? Because I learned that money, I told even this to Ernesto at that time, I'm like, money doesn't bring me happiness.
Yeah, because they asked their question.
Yeah.
Shout out to Money Buys Happiness podcast.
Man.
For putting this together.
Yes. But, and I had the experience, right? It does bring you happiness when you make money doing what you love.
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree. Sometimes we have this thing, my brother and I, in our business, right? And, some people in the industry too, our mutual friends. It's a very stressful industry in real estate and finance and things like that. You're dealing with numbers and people. It's a big responsibility for people. And it takes a certain character type to be able to do it the right way. And sometimes I joke around. I go, at the end of a hard deal, this is it. Forget this, whatever. 11 years, forget it. I just get the check and I'm like, okay, this was fine. This is my reward. Yes. At the end of it. This, my clients are happy. Everyone's happy. There was a lot of stress, but sometimes there's always stress in what you do.
There's always stress.
You know what I mean?
Art too. You think I don't go through stress? Yes.
It's a roller coaster of emotion.
Everywhere. Yeah. Everything you do, even doing what you love, you go through stress sometimes too.
There's challenging time. Life is challenging.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what makes it exciting too, because if it's just like
you won't appreciate it. Yeah, you won't appreciate it. If it's all good,
you need that. You need it. Oh my God, what's gonna happen now? You need that roller coaster.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
So both your parents are Brazilian?
Yes.
And you were born in Brazil?
Yeah, they're still in Brazil.
Yeah.
My dad got married. No, he didn't get married again, but find himself someone. And I have two brothers from my dad's side too.
So when you would sing, you'd sing in Portuguese or Spanish?
I was doing in English.
In English?
But I was throwing some kind of like Portuguese words in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
My wife is Portuguese.
Oh,
but
nice.
From Portugal.
I've been to Portugal so many times.
Beautiful.
I love Portugal. And I got on a point in my life that I was thinking to move there.
Wow.
I love Portugal.
Why
man.
Portugal?
I told you, I have 4 songs, one of the biggest singers from Portugal. So
and who is that, by the way?
Ana Malhoa.
Okay.
Yeah, her dad is kind of like, the king of the kuduro, the type of music that they do in Portugal. But so I went there. I stayed there for almost like a month, just doing like TV shows, radio, just promoting the songs and stuff. So, I had the chance to go all over Portugal. And I just fell in love with the country.
The
People are so
people,
nice, you know, the energy, you know, it's safe, beautiful food, it's amazing. I know everything, you know, it has
it's also affordable.
and affordable
Affordable.
too.
The people live a certain lifestyle that I know it's common in Europe, where they close at around 1 or 2, go to work, close at 1 or 2, open later.
Yes,
you know,
yes. That's the
that's the
it's
lifestyle.
fun, yes.
Right. But because I went to Portugal once for 2 weeks, it wasn't enough time. And we booked another trip right when I got back. I said, let's book again for all the month of July in 2020. But then COVID happened.
Yes,
so we couldn't go.
Wow.
But Portugal's definitely a place that we're thinking about too, in terms of having another place there. So what was your favorite part? Like Algarve, or like where were you?
Lisbon. I really love Lisbon. Yeah. Because I think it's more like the big city.
Yes.
You know, but at the same time it's chill at the same time. You know, has the old school, you know, I don't know how I would say, but it has the old school vibe with you know, like a little bit of modern, you know, and big city.
It's not, I noticed when we were there, it's not always hustle and bustle. Like you have the towers, you have a little bit of the city, right?
Yeah,
but you have the chilled feel. The people are chilled. It's the people.
Because when
it's the people,
you know, big city like New York, I love New York, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I'm out. You know
what
it's
to expect.
Too much going on. It's like my city in Brazil, São Paulo.
Yeah,
right. It's too crazy, right?
It's Toronto too. You know how many times we go to like downtown Toronto, and you're like, I was at the Jays game last week, and I said like, for what? It's stressful getting into the city. Yeah. And then stressful leaving.
No matter time you leave your house, there's always traffic.
Construction.
Before it was, early morning, get a little bit of traffic. Now it doesn't matter. Can leave up 9, 6 in the morning, 10, 11.
Yeah.
1 p.m. There's traffic.
I always wonder, I'm like, aren't you guys working? Isn't somebody working here?
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I wanted to ask you, we ask this question often to our guests. It's completely left field. Like it's not related, but you believe in God?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. Yeah.
So what's that for you? What does that look like?
It's actually everything, man. He showed me so many stuff, even like my Brazil days too, like I've been in some troubles and stuff, and I was always like talking to God, and he was always found a way to help me, and like, son, like this is your path, like he always showed me stuff. He always, like, I would say he always took me out of some like troubles and stuff, right? And show me to, pretty much the path that I was going to take for my life. All this stuff that happened in my life, that I say that, it's, you think it's a bad thing, whatever. It's literally God testing you to see if you're ready for for your next level, for your next step, right? And yeah, so in my life, it's so crazy because he showed me everything. Like, okay, son, you're gonna do this now. You're gonna, you're gonna be, a little stressed out here. You're gonna learn a little from this, and then you're going to the next level. And then this is gonna happen, but it's gonna make you, like a better person, a life experience, and then you go to your next level. And now he's like, son, now just live your life, live your dream. And every day that I'm in the car driving to the studio, I pray and I thank God for my day and for
your life.
For my life. It's
I love that you, even though got robbed by a church guy.
Yes.
I'm sorry. There's so, the people are imperfect, right? So we can't judge a God.
I don't blame, right? That's what I see. When you start not taking things like personally, you become a better person, right? I'm like, maybe this guy needed. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he was going through something bad in his life that he just felt the opportunity to change his life in somehow, and he did. So I'm like, no,
or that was his temptation.
I'm not even gonna, I'm not even gonna, I don't like to think that people do stuff because they're bad, bad people, this, that, whatever. I just thinking that there's a problem in there that, same thing, you're driving. I learned that too, sometimes you're in a highway and then you just, I'm chilling, always like, I always have my music on, driving, whatever. And there's always that guy that comes behind you and F this, stop fucking him away. You think that guy hates me? No.
He doesn't know you.
Doesn't even know who I am.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is going to the hospital because his wife or his kid is in problem, or he's late for his work, that he's gonna get fired. So something is happening with that guy at that moment, not because he hates me, right? Yeah. The same thing. Like I used to live in a condo, right? And every morning, I wake up with my energy level high, right? And then I'm always like smiling. And I remember, I got into the elevator, so it was this guy there. And I'm like, hey, good morning. How are you? The guy didn't say a word to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's not even going to say good morning back. I'm like, okay, he must be going through something. And then before I left the elevator, door opens, P2, went to get my car. And I'm like, I hope you have an amazing day if you're going through something. And the guy was like, you too. And then he smiled at me. I'm like,
there you go.
Maybe, he needed something. Maybe he was going through something on that moment, right? So, yeah you got to understand people, right?
Yeah, they don't know you. Don't take it. I like what you said. Don't take it personal.
Yeah.
The other day we paid for admission to get into this park so we could take some family photos.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, it's $18. I said, why? It's a park. Like, why do we have to pay to go park in the park? Like, we pay property taxes. That's how I am. And I said, why? I just asked him why. He's like, well, that's the price of the park. But he got upset that I asked him why. Because it's not his park. I shouldn't even have asked him.
Yes.
That was on me.
Yeah.
But then I said, okay, have a good weekend. He didn't say nothing. And I was driving and my wife's in the car and I'm like, thanks, you too. And I kind of copied him. And I went to my wife. I go, but why did he get mad? I didn't mean to say it's him. But you know what? Like you said, you don't know maybe what they're going through, or maybe he didn't need to hear that from me. It was snobby or whatever. So you have to be mindful.
Yeah. And I understand, sometimes some people, they do that to take advantage of people. But sometimes, people are just going through some hard times, right? So that's what I say. I try to understand people, right? Yeah. Even me, sometimes like people just look at me on social media. They're like, oh, this guy's a douche. Oh, this guy's this. They don't even know me.
Wow.
They don't even know me.
Far from a douche, man. Very welcoming, very hospitable, polite,
and I see a lot
well-mannered.
of people judging a lot of people just by, open their Instagram account, whatever, your lifestyle is, or whatever you're trying to build for yourself, right? And people, they don't know. But then it's funny because, and then they meet me like, oh my God, I didn't know you're like this.
Yeah.
Bro, you're such like a sweetheart. You're such a nice guy, humble and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, whatever you see there, even though like I don't post nothing crazy, but it's just by looking, they just judge you, you know. And I'm like, where I come from? Like the hustles in my life, the ups and downs, and everything I did to be where I am right now. And, what I'm doing, like helping people too, and in doing all these projects, right? Some people doesn't understand this sometimes, right? But then, there's always the haters, there's always this and that, but what are you going to do, right? Not even God couldn't, please everybody. So who I am,
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I love that.
You just go with the flow, and that's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you can't win everybody over. You do your best.
Yeah.
You're gonna attract the people that feel some positive type of way about you.
For sure.
And like us, like the way we connected with a couple positive guys, Anthony and Ernesto, connected with them through another positive guy that I know. I went to high school with him, and he knows them. They're connected. And then they connected us, right? So it's like that's all it is. It's energy.
Help people, connect people, and that's it, right? That's how I see it, right? I don't see my thing like a competition, right? I see a lot of artists, they see everything as a competition. Like if you're doing this, I have to do, or if you do, they want to be better than. I'm like, bro, I'm just like on my vibe, want to join me, want to do a collab, want to jump on a piece. There's some people, no, I don't want to do a collab, I don't want to do this, no, I don't want to get involved with you, I don't want. So okay, there's no problem, I'm here, man, just trying to be good with everybody, do stuff with everybody, and there's no competition. I think there's a market for everybody.
Yes.
Right? That's what I say. If it was like this world was all competition stuff, on the art or in the music, whatever, why shopping malls are going to exist, right? There's literally 200 clothing stores side by side.
All of them making money.
Everybody's winning. Everybody's,
Yeah, everybody's winning.
There's the ones that always, want to win more than you. They want to show that they're more than you, whatever, right? There's always people like that, but whatever,
Everybody, I like that. Everybody wins. that was the inspiration behind launching my company. I read a book
Wow.
called Everybody Wins. It's a bit of a real estate book, but the mindset is there, right? And you want to create a win-win situation, and sometimes you put yourself out there and people don't reciprocate it, and that's okay. You learn now versus down the road you make a bigger mistake with that person or something, right? I love the challenges and the trials. I want to ask you about some inspiration, because I've always wanted to travel to Italy and go into the Sistine Chapel, look at the work and all that. So do you have any artists that inspired you from, maybe back in the day, or even, just modern art? Does anybody stand out to you?
Well, I've been watching like a lot of documentaries and stuff. I would say Banksy life, it was pretty much his story was so like similar to mine when I started back in the days in Brazil. Of course, I can even compare myself to Banksy, who I am comparing to him, but it's just the stories, Basquiat too, had the same, going in the streets, doing the legal tags and doing all this, like trains, and I do watch like a lot of artists like that, more old school artists. And I had that guy when I was doing illegal tags. I show you a piece on my thing. I just bought in Brazil. It's literally a piece of metal, a door metal with a tag, right? That this guy used to do illegal tags to in Brazil, and he was the god, right? That guy had tags all over Brazil. I'm not even gonna say my city, São Paulo, all over Brazil. He went to New York, he went to France. Everywhere in the world, this guy traveled and put his tag in there. So he was the god for us, right? And it was funny because I went to Brazil. I did my first art exhibition in Brazil, and I had a chance to meet him, and he came to my art show. So he's like, okay, next day, come to my house. I want to talk to you, because now he sees me, living in North America, doing my thing, whatever. He's like, bro, what are you doing here? Like messaging me. I'm like, no, what are you doing with me? Because you're my God, He's like, no, you crazy? So yeah, I went to his house, I spent the whole morning with him, because I wanted to learn how he became, like so popular. That guy used to spend 300 spray cans to 400 a month doing illegal tags on the streets.
So basically what I hear from that is volume. Yeah. Put it out there.
And it's funny because he has 19 charges from the police and the city. And this year, the city reached out to him and said, listen, we want you to do an art show to exhibit your pieces, because now he's doing this whole like metal door boards with his tag on it. And then he was like, I'll do, but you guys have to take all my charges.
Drop my charges.
And I'm like,
they did that?
See?
Did they do that?
They didn't do yet.
Oh, okay.
But he was working on the deal. But I'm like, you see how it is? Like this guy literally passed his whole life. He's 51 now, doing illegal tags. Now he's making money out of it.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's insane. So he was one of the guys that I always look it up to it. But in then, I do have some artists too, like as I said, Banksy, Basquiat. Plus there's a lot of new artists too, that I always, look it up to it. And,
you ever
always go to galleries. We try to, get ideas and get our brain, rolling. And
you ever like Andy Warhol, Da Vinci,
I like
Van Gogh.
Yes, but they're more like they're a completely
Renaissance
different style.
art.
Yeah.
Andy Warhol's
I don't see myself in them. Of course, the legacy, that they put out there, whatever. It was amazing, But I don't see myself. I was not into them so much, right? Of course, I try to understand a little bit too, because they were on a different level too.
So something like the Mona Lisa. Does that inspire you, or you're like, it's just another chick?
I did, Mona Lisa is Mona Lisa, right?
Yeah.
She's never gonna die, right? But I did some funky pieces with using like Mona Lisa.
Okay.
It's funny, it was a big hit. But I always go with the flow, right? Sometimes, I just get home and just start watching, like art galleries and art shows from like different artists and stuff, and just try to get inspired and try to learn a little bit from that. And one thing that I learned is that when you share your story, you can change someone's life, right? So now because I've been sharing my story a lot, I want to know about people's story too, So that's when I kind of like related myself to Banksy, Basquiat, and it helped me a lot for me to actually find my style, and just go there and do your thing, son, just go paint whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
I want to ask you about some stuff you're doing for kids and the youth, but before I do that, does it piss you off if you go on, let's say, Instagram and you see some woke people, throw a different color paint on a work of art somewhere in a museum, like an expensive piece? Like I've seen some of like for climate change, and they ruin like a Van Gogh, like a $30 million painting or whatever it's worth. Not the point, but it's someone's work. And they ruin it in the name of, like, let's say, climate change. Does that piss you off as an artist?
It doesn't piss me off. It might be, of course, a reason behind that they're doing. But, when it's bad, like news and stuff like that, I try to not even follow, not even watch.
Right.
I'm just trying to keep myself, with that good energy. And even like news on the TV, I don't watch anymore.
Right.
Because when you watch this, I learned that with my dad recently. That I saw them throwing paints and gluing their hands on the floor, on the paints and whatever, I'm like, it might be a reason for that, but I try to not even go deep into that, just to keep my energy high.
Yeah.
Because, it's, nowadays it's so crazy. The world is getting insane that, if you watch all this news, all this bad news every day, man, we get crazy.
We do.
Not even gonna leave our home. You don't even want to leave your house. We don't even want to go to the mall, to go to restaurants anymore.
Yeah.
So I try, when it's bad news, I just try to do not watch or whatever, and just, be on my, my vibe, my energy, and try to keep, because, man, it's been hard.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Now they say ignorance is bliss, because if you're aware of it, sometimes if I watch certain videos, like it just pisses me off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I even watching it to get pissed off? Why am I even spending time here?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So good. It's a good mindset to have. Yeah. So tell us about now, mental health, anxiety, depression. It's very, very common these days. And, the pandemic was challenging for a lot of people, lockdowns, and especially in Canada, it was very strict. So it's affected a lot of people, especially kids.
It did. And I lost some friends too, and family members too. It's hard, man. It's going crazy now. I just put a project together now. It's called the Buddy Bench, that I've been going to schools, doing donations and stuff like that. I went to Brazil. I did 3 schools too, just sharing my story, right? As I said, I realized that when you share your story, you can change someone's life, right? And I actually did, The good, well, I'm not gonna say the good thing, but that I took from COVID, right? It was pretty much a lot of people, they try to reinvent themselves, right? So I understand that the same way that it hurt a lot of people, I lost family members too during COVID. It was bad, but I know that a lot of people kind of like got on that point. They're like, I need to reinvent myself. I gotta do something. And some people were doing 9-to-5 jobs. Again, nothing wrong with that. But some people are actually knows like, I can't do this anymore. But right. The pandemic, this whole situation, gave people ability to discover themselves and create something different. That after the pandemic, they're not even doing 9-to-5 anymore. They're not even doing the job that he used to hate, that was just doing for the money. Right. There's a lot of people that actually win a big time. Actually, myself too. I sold so much during the pandemic that it was crazy. Right. And that's actually when I got my studio. Right. A lot of people were, getting away from office and, stores, and no, I can't afford this. And I got mine during the pandemic. Right. Because I got so busy. Right. And at the same time, I was trying to help a lot of people too. I did a thing, on the Christmas time, because remember, they started with the small business, help the small business, blah, 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 this and that. And I did in my Christmas. I'm like, listen, everybody message me on Instagram, the small business, because my Christmas gift this year is going to be just through small businesses.
Awesome.
And I didn't go to the mall. I didn't do anything. No online shopping, just through small businesses. And I did. I bought, clothing line, brands, new brands that was like coming out. I'm like, here, buying this. Just keep sending me, guys. And I just gonna, start helping everybody, right? The way I can, right? And I start promoting a lot of people on my social media, right? Just send your business. So, I always try to find a way to help people, right? But now I start with the project with the kids, right? Because the little ones, they're the future, right? They're the ones that are getting affected a lot.
Buddy bench. So you were explaining the concept to me. So usually even adults, but kids, especially as you said, they don't want to necessarily talk about their feelings or go up to another kid in the schoolyard and say, I'm feeling this way, because they're afraid they might get bullied or someone will say, what are you talking about? So talk to us about the bench idea, what it's meant to do.
So so the buddy bench, it's big in the US, it's big in Europe, and it kind of like they had the project in Canada too, but I just find that the bench was so boring, Some of them were kind of painted, whatever, but most of them were just like white, black, gray, whatever, nothing. And then I'm like, I want to do something to help the kids, but I want to bring my vibe, my energy, right? Which is colors, do my art on those benches and start donating to schools, right? Because I want to make the kids even more comfortable to go and sit on that bench, right? So I start doing projects with schools. I go there, I talk to the kids, I share my story, and then I do the donation, right? I paint with them, I do a lot of stuff. And then pretty much, they get the whole vibe, the whole energy. And then if they're going through something, it's going to make them feel more comfortable to go and sit on that bench, right? If they, if they feel lonely during their recess time, which is the best time, that all the kids have, right? They just want to, go have fun. But there's a lot of kids, if it's a new kid or if it's a kid that cannot interact easily with the older ones, they just feel more comfortable instead of go there. So, can I play with you? Oh, I feel sad today. They teach the kids that if they're feeling something, go and sit on that bench. And if they see a kid sitting there, go there and talk to that kid, see what is he going through or whatever. If they want to play, whatever they want to do, just get them, bring it to your circle, Yeah. So that's something that has been helping, man.
So how can someone get involved? Is there a website or is it just through you?
We're going to put a website together. Now I'm just going through my Instagram. I just post like a short like reels, talking about a little bit of the buddy bench. And
this is on your Diogo Snow?
Diogo Snow, on my Instagram.
So make sure you guys follow him.
Yeah, thank you.
And check that out.
And pretty much when I post that video, I just told people to like just send me, school's name, and if the principals, whatever, that anybody that wants to get that bench, just tag, the school name, and my team's gonna reach out, and then we're gonna start doing the deliveries. So now the benches are getting made by my friend. He's actually like a carpenter. He owns a construction company. And I brought him the idea. I'm like, listen, I want to do this, but I didn't see any bench on the market that it's actually cool and has like a nice space, a canvas for me to paint, I didn't see any. I'm like, I want to build something nice. So he pretty much designed the whole thing, and he designed actually a nice bench, with a nice area for me to spray paint, to do my art.
I love it.
And now, I already did the first school. I did a St. Ambrose school in Etobicoke.
Yeah.
And then now I'm just gonna start doing, there's like 10 more benches ready.
Great initiative.
And then I put a proposal too, because there's people now that they want to do donations and stuff because I did this just, for myself, for my mental health, and to help the little ones, right? Because I love to work with them, man. They, they're so like
innocent.
Yeah, they have like no, the mentality to, to screw you over or do nothing. Like they're super innocent. Yeah. And it's so good to work with them because they give you that good energy, right? They appreciate you. When you're there, you paint it with them. They're focused. They love what you're doing there.
Yeah.
And it's funny because one of my friends, she's a teacher on the St. Ambrose school, Mr. Dale. She told me, she's like, do you have an idea how powerful you are to be here controlling 500 kids and they're all quiet and listening to you?
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
To have 500 kids
Yeah.
quiet, just like,
It's hard
crazy,
to do,
man.
It's hard to
It's
do.
crazy, yeah.
I have a teaching background. It's hard to keep
Yeah.
a class, you know.
Yeah.
Especially kids. They're
Especially
they're
kids, man.
distracted.
So,
you know.
yeah. My
Amazing.
son is like that. You know, he's all over the place. You know,
Yeah.
but he loves painting.
Yeah.
He's already start painting. He's going crazy. It's the only thing. You give him a video game. He plays like 10, 15 minutes over.
Amazing.
He go builds his Lego, 10, 15 minutes over. I put it in front of a canvas. I bring him to the studio. 3, 4, 5 hours.
Wow.
Zero complaint. He just asked me for colors.
Yeah.
He's like, Daddy, can I have this color? Can I have this color? Oh, can I have the brush? Oh, can I use this? So yeah, he's so into it. Inspiring, man. Yeah. And I'm doing this to the other kids now too, right? Even if they, you know, if one day they don't become an artist or something, you know, but at least it's gonna help them to open their minds, right? Because music, art, dance, it helps a lot, man. And that's what I did. You know, that's why I have this open mind now, right? The creative side, it's brilliant. It's crazy.
It was all those years of experience that's led you to this point.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Before we close off, you have any final words for our guest, our audience that you want to leave them with?
Yeah, man. Listen, I always say that, right? I even have the belief tattoo here, you know. I just said that sometimes people think it's cool to say, you know, believe. You know, believe. That's what I ask, you know. Do you actually believe in yourself? Are you down to do whatever you have to do to follow your dreams and, you know, do what you love, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I say. If you do, man, if you can answer this question, just believe and just do whatever you have to do, man. Because, you know, I did. And I went through so much in my life. And I just want, that's what I said, I just want to make the world, you know, smile, man, and happy. And if I can change one kid and the school that I go, whatever, you know, it's already a big win for me, right? And already been changing a lot, right? For better. So yeah, man. Just
believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself and, you know, do what you love.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Diogo Snow, this was a pleasure for me.
I'm
honored to be here in the studio.
My pleasure, man.
I had a fire chat with you.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, brother.
And and a big shout out to your audience too, man. And for you. And your brother is not here.
Yes.
We miss your brother.
We will make sure we discipline him for not being here. He made me ride solo on this one, but I had a great time.
It's all good. I'm glad you had a good time, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you guys, man.